Welcome back to the Rom-Com Love Podcast. We are so thrilled to have with us because this is also our 1 year anniversary. Cindy Busby joining us again.
Yay! Oh, happy anniversary. How exciting.
Thank you. You are our first and now our one who's had the third appearance. So welcome back, girl.
Oh, thank you. What an honor. I'd like to thank both of you for making this possible.
Problem.
I should do it. Thank the little Academy Awards.
Yes, exactly. They
Yeah.
always say the first year is the hardest year, so now it's just smooth sailing.
We'll take it.
You got
We're
this.
Yeah.
We've learned a lot and we've had a lot of fun. Well, let's jump right on in because you just are you the season 3 episode 2 of When Hope Calls just aired,
Yep.
and there were so many hidden gems in this. So I thought we would kind of break it down a little bit to 3 questions for you, and then we'll follow up with what kind of our responses would be for those two.
Ooh, okay.
So, because you had the opportunity to also watch this one virtually with Great American Family.
Yeah,
Um,
with Bill and Chris Russell. Yeah.
yeah, so you also got some immediate feedback from attendees who were in
Yep.
the it's done
Yep.
in a webinar form, correct? So you don't see people's faces, but you get to read their questions.
Exactly. Yeah, I can see the comments and the questions.
Perfect. So, can you share what moments made you laugh the most? What moments pulled at your heartstring? And what moment made you swoon?
Ooh. Okay, well, I'll start with the last question. What made me swoon? Well, a few things actually, but definitely the last scene when, Mountie Michael comes to Nora at the house with a kind of gift of like an offering to say, I'm sorry for how I may have judged you in this whole bribery allegation situation and just like giving her favorite cookie, which A means he listened because that was brought up prior in the episode. And it's tough for Michael. He's very reserved and he's very like keeps everything close to his cards close to his chest. And so for him to do something like that is like a huge gesture. Not to mention, in 1920 gestures like that were like a really big deal. And then the fact that they touched hands is like it's like, that's like first base kind of stuff. So like so that was definitely swoon. And interestingly enough, that was also the first scene Chris and I shot that's this season. So season 3, the first scene we ever shot together on set was that scene, which is really interesting. Um, and kind of like was able to like reverse because we shoot episodes 1 and 2 together at the same time. So sometimes you'll shoot, a scene from episode 2 and then go to episode 1 and then back and forth, back and forth.
Can I
Um,
ask a question on that real
yeah,
quick? So when you do that and because we've also talked about how a lot of times the kiss is the first thing in a movie that's filmed. It's like, hey, how are you? Let's kiss.
yeah,
And then you go backwards. How does
totally.
that maybe change how you read or how you initially thought you would play something when you read that script or a scene? Does that make a change? Because you don't know what the order is going to be of shooting right away, do you?
Usually we get the schedule. So yeah,
Okay.
we'll get the schedule for like that block. So for episode 1 and 2, I'll know when we're shooting what scene. But things can change based on like weather or, like things you can't predict, but usually it stays pretty much the same. So yeah, I mean, it you always like come in prepared and you hope for the best for the scene, and obviously you speak with your scene partner about like their thoughts about it and how they're gonna like play it. And then sometimes like some unexpected things happen, and I remember with this scene Chris and I were very like we really talked about it a lot because it was such an important scene and we weren't sure how it would play out, and especially you have a dog in the mix and you've got one of the orphans that come out, and initially it was kind of blocked in a different way, and so we ended up changing it a little bit where Rufus comes running out at the end as he's walking away, that was a changed moment because initially the dog was supposed to come out with an orphan while we're having our final moment. And we were like, that seems kind of weird and it takes away from the moment. So it'd be really cool if the dog kind of like ran out at the last minute and the orphan like goes back inside before the hand gesture.
Mhm.
And so yeah, there's always like going to be some impromptu moments that change in the course of like blocking or when you're talking to your, but so in this particular situation, it was really cool to get to do that first because it gave you a place to go because you knew where it was going initially. Obviously, you don't always have that opportunity, but like if you start with the kiss, for example, like you mentioned, you kind of like go backwards, you like rewind. Okay, well, this is where I end. So, like, where do we go from there? Whereas sometimes if you start with the conflict, you're like, oh, how is it going to get to this point? But, you know, you work it out. That's like a very long answer to your short question.
Well, no, that's acting. But yeah, no, I absolutely love because yeah, we know that you guys do the block shooting. And
Yeah,
so I love that you got to start with this
I
as your,
know.
because we had a little hand, there was a little hand action.
Yeah,
Went with
there
the
was
homework after.
that's right, first base.
So happy.
So there was first base in episode or season one or season two. We're calling it season two, I guess, season two of
Sure.
last
Yeah.
year. But then I kind of, like so now you're on base two.
Yeah,
Moving
yeah,
moving
exactly.
bases.
Yeah, right, right.
Moving up.
Um, And another scene that had me swooning was, I mean, I love Maggie and Sam. Like they're just and not only is their story so beautiful, but I just think that, Hanukkah and John, the actors, are just so talented and they're just so connected in everything they do that like anytime I see them on camera, like I'm just like, oh, like they're just so cute. So I like when he gave her the orchids and stuff, like it just was so sweet. Um and what else had me swooning? I mean, I also really love, yeah, I mean, I guess those were the two big moments. I love Hannah, and Wyatt as well. But I think we'll have more swooning opportunities later on in the season.
Oh, yay, yay, yay.
So what moments made you laugh the most?
I mean, anytime Ronnie is on camera, there's the scene where we're oh my gosh, what's his name? I can only think of the actor's name, Austin, who plays like the young orphan who shows the science
Oh,
experiment.
Steve. Oh,
Steve, thank you. Oh my gosh, how could I forget that? Steve, played by Austin. He when he does his whole like science experiment that like blows up, and then Ronnie's like, and then he calls him instead of calling him Steve, he calls him a different name, and like that was absolutely improv in the moment because Neil is an incredible actor and just like like amazing improver. And like I just love his little tidbits and also every time Ronnie sees Maggie, he's like, "Oh, hi Maggie." 'Cause like she takes away from like his Sam moments and like his money and she might get in the way of him like getting more like money. He's just such a Scrooge. So yeah, anytime Ronnie's in a scene, I'm for sure gonna be laughing.
Mhm. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Love him.
and then like starting with the shoulder and that conversation, we did have so many scenes that pulled at the heartstrings. I will start with by saying one of my favorite ones, aside from the shoulder, was Charlotte and Rufus.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, how could I forget? Yeah, that was such a beautiful storyline. Oh, that was so nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Really, really special.
So Brennan, how about for you? I think we've covered a
Oh,
lot of them.
well, I gotta agree with you, Cindy. The last scene between Nora and Michael, myself and Catherine, we are physical touch girlies. So
Yes.
anytime we get the physical touch, I am just on the floor. And
I love that.
it's just the dialogue and how you two played it. It was so good. You two truly are just so magical and
Oh,
wonderful
thank
together.
you.
And I also have been swooning over Maggie and Sam. There's something that is just so, like you said, sweet and beautiful about this
Yeah.
first love and first time calling each other boyfriend and girlfriend. And just every time they see each other, they're so excited. And it just is so darn adorable. And
Yeah.
they have amazing kisses. Ooh, Nelly.
They're making up for everybody else not having the kisses. Totally.
End of first episode. I was like, yes.
Yeah, I
Oh,
know. They're just like so natural and yeah, it
mhm.
just it just works.
Yeah, so good.
I love it.
Yeah, me
Uh,
too.
well, going back to the what made me laugh, I like you were saying with Ronnie, I could not stop laughing, but I loved, and I don't know if I'm sure this is how it was scripted, but literally he self-appointed himself as his agent slash lawyer
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
and timekeeper.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. I was like, well, that's all the time we have for now. Thank you so much. And there's one time he comes through the curtain where he goes, oh, good, good. That was quick. Yeah, I like that. We'll bring in the next person. Like he's just trying to get them because really he doesn't want this.
No,
He wants the money,
yeah,
you know? He's
yeah.
just
So basically, like, okay, so those were great. Now back to my idea, but
exactly.
I don't think I said to Brendan, I said, I go, I actually think this one is probably my favorite episode so
Yes.
far.
Me too.
I There
Yeah.
was just something, I was either laughing, I was smiling, or I was like, oh.
Yeah, totally.
Yes. Yeah.
Totally. Yeah.
But
Even,
yeah,
I have to say, sorry, we didn't mention it, but Kalinka, who plays Lucy, I really laughed at the scene where she's like, okay, when they're taking the photos, Hannah's
mhm.
taking the photos, and she's like, okay, just act natural, and she's like, she's like, okay, now just relax your neck. She's like this. And
Yeah.
it's just like the funniest faces and Sarah's reaction to that I just thought was hilarious. So yeah, that just came back to me. I really liked that moment as well.
That was
Well, I
great. And we got to see her with her hat off.
I know. Yeah. Yeah, totally. Good point.
was actually the next one I was going to bring up was up for because I thought it was a beautiful, heartfelt moment because she is, well, there's a lot of things happening in that scene, especially
Yeah,
especially once Wyatt comes on board.
truly. Yep.
But I absolutely love that there was, she was gaining confidence and seeing herself in a different way. Both of
Yeah.
them were helping her specifically with Hannah, encouraging, and then but Wyatt really saying who, like, where are you the most comfortable? Don't try to be somebody
Yeah.
you're not. And then of course I was
Yeah.
like, wait a second here.
Yeah.
Totally.
Darn those triangles, I'm telling you.
Oh,
There
goodness.
are so many triangles this season. Truly.
We're so fatigued. But
Yeah.
yeah, and then going back to Tess, to everybody checking on Tess after her
Yeah.
insane episode
Yeah.
one. And then her, like, don't worry about me, but her, oh my gosh, who is the other rancher? Why is his name blanking to me?
Um, Clay?
Tom? Is
Tom,
there a Tom? Yes. No.
Tom Clay. Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah.
Tom. Yeah.
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 Yeah. And then,
Lucy's
helping.
father. Lucy's father.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So helping him. So I just love that we had so many things that so much happened and but it all meshed. Alfonso's great
Yeah.
with
Oh,
blending everything, all
yeah.
those little
Totally.
Easter eggs together. So
Totally. Yeah, 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 absolutely. And also, like, one of the things my husband was saying when he was watching the episode is like, Tess this season so far is a lot like softer. Like you're seeing a completely different side of her. And that's because of like what she just went through, Like that was like a really and again, she's like, "No, I'm good," but really like that was a moment and then her reconnecting, with her husband's spirit and all that. Like it was just yeah, really, it's really nice to get to see the evolution of these characters through their experience. Like you're not just one level, you're not just one dimensional character. And like that's what's so cool about this show also. And like you said, what Alfonso and team are doing is showing different sides of everybody.
Yeah.
yeah, and let's shout out Jesse Hutch for playing bad so good.
So good.
Yeah.
And in a PG kind of way, right? Like, I mean,
Yes.
that's like pretty epic.
Yes. all in one episode. I mean, he pretty much had, I mean, kidnapping, I mean, tying his hostage up, a gun, a shovel.
It,
I'm like, oh,
I
Jesse,
mean,
you are
he,
just doing it all in one
he's the
take.
best. He's such a great
He's
actor.
so good.
Yeah, yeah.
One episode he had attempted murder. He had
Right.
hidden treasure.
Hey, yeah, no big deal.
Big
He's like,
deal.
this is my moment. I'm gonna come into season 3 with a bang. Let's go.
Might as well. Might as well.
Cindy, who's the gentleman with the orchids? Because that character had me cracking up with his whole orchid plan.
Yes, yes, that's Neil Whitley. He's a wonderful actor. Gosh, I'm like horrible with like I have so many names in my brain that now I'm trying
Yeah.
to remember what his character name is.
That's
Um,
what they got IMDb for.
yeah. But he's amazing. He's so funny in that episode too. He's like, well, wait, there's still so many more orchids. Which was super sweet and like what a great take and like what a great character like side of
Mhm.
him that nobody has seen yet, where you're like not expecting that kind of thing.
It was so good. He's out the door. He's like, but my samples. And
And
Totally.
he wasn't taking no for an answer. He came right back with them.
he did. He
Absolutely.
did. They were gorgeous. He was not lying.
Stunning. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, they were gorgeous. Orchids are very finicky. I have one in my house right now, and I'm like, please, please don't die on me, please.
Please
Please
still
live.
stand straight.
Yeah.
I have been gifted two in my life, and neither one of them made it. And they're supposed to be able to make it with less fuss. And nope, no fuss. Catherine failed.
Yeah. Turns out it's like a no fuss but extra fuss kind of thing.
Right.
And you're like,
Right.
wait, what?
Yes. Scam.
Oh, I love we're all on the same page of our highlights because yeah, I cannot wait to see where we go with episode 3. There's the
Totally.
sky's the limit.
Absolutely.
Totally.
And that concludes the interview.
We've solved all the world's problems. The end.
We have.
Right.
Amazing. Well, Cindy, storyline that really is hit hard and at the beginning of season 3 is Nora had this bombshell dropped on her the finale of season 2.
Yeah.
Her boss was doing something he wasn't supposed to do, this whole bribing situation. Do we continue to learn more about that and with Nora this season?
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
One of my favorite songs, It's Only Just Begun.
Yes.
So yeah, it's only just begun.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
we the bribery allegations are consistently showing up, and Nora finally has to kind of really question herself on like how she may have overlooked certain things or misjudged the character that was Carter Williams, her boss and mentor, a person she respected and looked up to, and now may have put everything on the line for her, which is really scary. Because she worked really hard to get to where she is, and she's a woman lawyer, which is like, again, we have to think like such a massive deal at the time. So to potentially have that on the rocks is really uncomfortable. Not to mention, she's new in town and she's falling for this Mountie who also happens to serve the law. So, like, things are not great for Nora. But someone is going to come to town and try to, clear their name. And so Nora is going to have to figure out, like, what is true and what is not.
Mm.
And episode 3, we're starting off with a bang.
Yes. Love that.
Yep.
Let's
Yep.
go.
Yep.
Yeah, I gotta say it definitely threw Monty Fletcher for a loop, and I wanted to come through my screen and rattle him for having any doubt there.
I
Come
know,
on, guy.
I know. I mean, listen, he's so used to like, things being black and white and good and bad that sometimes the gray area can be a little bit, I think, tough for him because he hasn't really experienced that. Um, but yeah, episode 3 and 4 although every single episode is so great, 3 and 4 for myself as Cindy Busby were the most like um challenging, like in as far as acting goes, in like a really great way. So I
Mm.
was really excited to tackle those episodes. So I'm pumped to, first of all, I'm excited to see them and how they turned out, and I'm excited for everyone else to see like what happens.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Have you did you um did you do any lawyer research, Cindy? Does that make sense? Did for
Yeah.
did have you learned any, legal?
Legalisms.
Yeah, exactly.
Gotcha,
Yeah,
girl.
I mean,
Clearly I'm
I
not a lawyer.
I
Did
mean,
you kind
me
of do
neither,
any?
but I just play one on TV. Um, yeah, I mean, I learned so I played a lawyer. I don't know if you guys remember this. Remember when is Cedar Cove? I played Rebecca
Hmm.
Jennings on Cedar Cove, where I got to play an ADA, like an assistant district attorney back in the day. So I had done some for that. Um, and then again for this particular show, while also, not needing to go deep diving into, because like I don't want to I don't want to go through the bar personally, like Kim Kardashian or anything, but
Well, like it's
I,
hard.
yeah, I learned, like, it's hard. But I certainly like learned enough to kind of like understand, and specifically more on the history side of things, to understand like what would that have meant to be a lawyer, a female lawyer back in 1920. Like because I personally didn't even know that existed. And what's really fun about it is Alfonso went to law school. So a lot of Nora is actually kind of based on like a bit of his experience. And obviously, he went to school for that, practiced a bit, and then took a complete, like, you know, left turn into writing for television and movies, which we're forever grateful for. But yeah, so it's fun to get to chat with him about it because he already has that kind of history and that kind of jargon in his, in his own dialogue.
Wow, I didn't know that. That's
Yeah, I
amazing.
know. It's pretty cool.
Well, and I totally am spacing. Did he do 3 through 7 on When Calls the Heart? I think
I think
because
I think it might have been 3 through 7 or 4 through 7, but yeah, it was only like a couple years in the.
because we had a female lawyer on there too.
Ah.
And I'm trying to think of what is the year supposed to be for Brookfield right now? I'm losing track.
It's technically supposed to be 1920.
Okay.
Yeah, and because this season is literally the next day from last year, then it's
Hmm.
like still we haven't, gone forward much.
Well, we had fireworks. We haven't hit the new year, so it's still 1920.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, exactly.
exactly.
Totally.
And speaking of fireworks, Cindy, let's go back to the hand touch. So,
Yeah.
like Catherine said, we've now had a couple physical moments between Michael and Nora. Are
Yeah.
we going to see more physical touch moments this season?
Yes. Yes, you will.
Yay!
Yes, you will.
We'll leave it at that. We'll see what
We'll
kind of
leave it
visit.
at that. Yeah, you don't want to give away too much.
Not at all. Not at all.
Though we did meet Pastor Joshua in episode 1. So let's talk about his presence in the town and what maybe that may mean for Nora and Michael.
Yeah. Well, yeah, Pastor Joshua Daniels, played by Simon R. Blaster. First of all, absolutely adore him. He's such a like he was like the really the only new kind of actor other than like a couple little like a couple, guest stars and things.
Mhm.
So that was really cool, and he really fit right in and played the character really well. And I think that there's what's interesting for Nora with this triangle is that, the pastor and the Mountie are such different human beings. And obviously she already has an affinity with Michael, but there's something different that Joshua offers, that certainly catches her eye, and you'll start to see more of that in the next couple of episodes where his presence is truly more present. And so that, and the quality time aspect. So there's a lot of that kind of brings things to the forefront, not only for Nora, but for Michael to see the dynamic being created. Because again, he's extremely visual, nothing gets past him. So for him to see that, it kind of makes him question, like, where do I stand? And also, what am I going to do about this?
Mm.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
I always
familiar
appreciate that
territory.
self-reflection.
Yeah, no one can relate to any of this.
Not at all.
In my real life, but I'm just saying on what I've seen on screen.
Right. Well, I can tell you, it happens in real life too.
Dang, I missed that boat. No, but I have to say, when you say it that way too, I never really thought about the fact. I knew that they'd have common interests because of course we get the reading it right away.
Yeah.
But I it was brilliant to cast him as a pastor
Yeah.
because listening and Monty Michael saying that's where he has some struggle, but he's working on it. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. And the opening up, where
Mhm.
literally being a pastor is about the experience and opening up and sharing so that other people can open up and share. And so, and we all know, women love a man who can express himself. So
Mhm.
that certainly is a nice, attribute that he brings to the table. But at the same time, these characters, and all the triangles and all the different characters, like, they're there for a reason, in like allowing other characters to be a better version of themselves through, experiencing and witnessing other people.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Cindy, what do you think it is specifically about Michael? What do you think it is that is attractive to Nora? Did- does that make sense?
Yeah,
Is it,
totally. Well,
I
I
mean,
mean, other than the
yeah,
fact that he is obviously attractive, of course,
yes.
just a little bit. That's fine. But yeah, other than the physicalness, I feel like, there's a sense of like, she's found her match in
Mm,
life. Like they kind of test each other. She's not, and he's not afraid to kind of just say what they mean. And when it comes to matters of the heart, obviously that's a different circumstance, but they're very opinionated, they're very intelligent. And so they're able to kind of like line up. And I think for Nora, that's been an issue for her, is like really finding someone who can step up and not, and kind of like, she can put him in his place, he can put her in her place, and like, and that's a nice, it's a nice thing to be able to have that rapport with someone, where it's not like disrespectful in any way. In fact, it's really a respect thing, when you find someone that you can have that wit with and have those like intellectual conversations. And so I think that there's something about him that really, kind of keeps her wanting more. And like that mystery also is kind of like, for lack of a better word, kind of sexy and like attractive. And all of those things are
Mhm.
are nice. And he's also been like really sweet, like just waiting on, the porch all night. And even though he said it was to, protect the children, I mean, here's the thing. It is to protect the children. And also, like, how cute is that? Like, how sweet is that? I'm going to protect the children. You're like, swoon. Like, yeah,
yes,
cute,
yes. Do you want to do that every night? That's fine.
Yeah, exactly. Come protect the children, like, in my room.
Yes.
That's a home run. That's different. We're not there yet. We're still on first base.
Cindy, Catherine and I are the after dark girlies,
Yeah.
so bring it.
It's
Amazing.
like I always say, like I'm trying to maintain, like I'm a Bridgerton girl, but I'm trying to maintain. I know what show I'm watching, but at the
Yes,
same time, that little line, it's who said it best? Oh, Peter Benson. He goes, "We're all grown-ups."
of course.
We
I love
are.
it.
Yes.
Granted,
Absolutely.
granted, there are children in both aspects on these on both sets, but for the
Absolutely.
most part, it is grown-ups watching the show.
Yes, totally.
Oh my gosh. Go ahead, Brennan.
You go. Oh, I'm good.
Oh, okay.
I was,
Um,
yeah.
so at the core, of course, friendships are what makes Brookfield hum. And so we're seeing a lot more dynamics now that we've actually been able to really dive into personalities. We have Maggie and Nora talking and supporting each other, both giving their opinion on how to push forward for their relationships. Can you hint what your favorite moment in friendship is in season 3? Either
Oh,
yours or somebody else's.
oh yeah. I mean, there's a lot. Like I actually, even though Sam and Ronnie are like complete and utter opposites, there's something really special. They're kind of like the Batman and Robin of the show, where it's like Ronnie is Robin and like Sam is Batman, or I don't know, vice versa. But like there's something about that kind of like sidekick feel going on there where they're just so great together, and it's just like a great kind of ping pong match between the two. So I really like that like unsuspecting friendship there. I also, of course, like love any scenes I have with Hannah. But in fact, we saw a little bit with Debbie and Maggie and Nora coming together. So you're going to see a lot more of that kind of, speaking of triangles, like that kind of, I don't know, friendship triangle. But like not in a bad way, like in a good kind of triangle way. And more of a circle, I guess. I don't know.
Perfect. We love
Right.
friendship circles.
Yeah, exactly.
We need other shapes. So that's
Yes, so
perfect.
many other shapes. But yeah, so we've got that, and we will have an episode, which is honestly some like probably one of my favorite episodes for a different reason in that um in this particular episode, you're going to see the women of Brookfield really come together. And
Mm.
I really love that because I think that one of the special parts about this show is there's so many incredibly strong, like hearts of gold kind of women. And like women need women. Like it doesn't matter, like, yes, we love the romance. Yes, we love the action. And yes, we love the comedy, but the friendships, like I mean, I have so many great girlfriends, and like I love watching girlfriends like come together on TV, and like what we're doing right now, we're just like chatting, and like that's so I'm really excited about that episode and getting to see that come together because I think it's important, and especially in Brookfield.
Oh, 1000%. And the
Yeah.
shape that came to my mind that in some way we can be creative with it is a friendship heart,
Oh,
because you've got the
yes.
middle and then
Yeah.
they both go to the side and then they meet at the bottom.
A
Yes,
hundred
that's
percent. Love
fun.
that. Hearts all around. Hearts all
Ixnay
around.
the triangle. We'll go with the heart now.
We'll go with the heart.
Yeah.
We can
Or
change
maybe
the
a
triangle into
hexagon.
a heart.
we only want so many things that we want to throw popcorn at the screen for, Cindy.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, totally.
so true.
Yeah.
Um, but along that line, obviously, you guys are all dear friends, Offset too. Can you
Yeah.
share just as a whole or things that come up like in your mind initially per person, like some things that you admire about your fellow castmates?
Oh, wow. Gosh, there's so many. I mean, Sarah Fisher, who plays Hannah Lawrence, has become a really good friend of mine. Like because she lives in Los Angeles, so I get to, we get together for lunches, and we've gone on double dates and like that whole thing. So that's been really cool. I just really love that with her I can have, and this is what I look for personally in all of my friendships. I really love being able to have like really deep conversations about life and about hard things and about challenges, but I also love being able to laugh and like make voices and goof around and and then also share in each other's excitement. Like Sarah got engaged last year, so like little things like that where you're just like, so I've been really, really happy to gain a friend through her. Um, I feel the exact same way about Hanukkah. Talbot, who plays Maggie. She and we did a Christmas movie back in 2021 with Chad Michael Murray, where she played like the other woman. And I remember back then being like, oh my gosh, who is this person? I like absolutely adore her, but we didn't like get to work with each other a ton. And so knowing that well, she was already part of the show before I came in, and then knowing she was coming back, she is again one of those people like we will go on deep dive conversations where we're in the hotel lobby like talking for like an hour saying like, okay, well, I gotta go. And then like a half hour goes by and we're like, oh wait, weren't we gonna go? Like, and we'll like grab dinner. And honestly, Kiana's the same way, the one who plays Debbie. Like the three of us, like I said, we had a lot of scenes together. So we between takes and scenes, we would just like sit down and talk, and like they are some of the funniest people in real life. Like we would just laugh all the time to the point where we're like, sorry, crew, like we don't mean to be annoying and loud, but like here we are. Um,
It's girl time.
it's girl time. I also absolutely love John McLaren. I think he is such a great guy. He's like, he's one of those guys who, like, again, like you can have a really like deep-seated conversation with, but it like loves to laugh. And like I love that he laughs at all my dumb jokes. And like I want to hang out with anyone who's gonna laugh at my jokes. So
We got you, girl.
yeah, thank you.
Absolutely.
But I also love like when I get to hang out with Neil because
Yeah.
he's got such great stories of like, he was talking. I remember one time we were talking about John Candy, and like he was telling me a story about when John Candy came to visit him at his school back in the day. And just getting to work with like younger actors or older actors, it's like you really get to learn from each other. And he's just like a really cool guy who's just been around forever. And then, you know, I mean, I could talk about it forever, but getting to work with, I haven't had any scenes with Wendy Crewson, but we've had like a couple car rides into set together. So those conversations have been amazing. And she's just like, she's been in everything, and like the Santa Claus, like, come on.
Yes, we were
And
just
like,
talking
right?
about
It's
that.
like
Yeah.
so iconic. And she is like the coolest person and just like a heart of gold. And again, I could talk about Chris Russell for like 1,000 years because we've known each other for like over 10 years. Like when his
Mhm.
son was born, we were his son was like 3 months old when we did our first thing ever together. And then his son came while we were shooting this season to celebrate his 10th birthday. So like that was pretty crazy, like kind of a fun, cool, like full circle moment. So, and like again, Chris is like one of my nearest, dearest friends, and I feel incredibly like lucky to get to work with like a good human.
Mhm.
Um, I'm sure I've missed so many people, but like, yeah, it's been, and even the producers that are working on the show, like, David Anselmo, who is the local producer, Hideaway Pictures. He's the one who did the Christmas movie that I worked with Chad Michael Murray. So like we go back, and then Brad Cravoy, who I've worked with for so long. It's just cool to get to like work with people that you respect and admire and genuinely adore as a person, let alone like professionally.
Yeah. That does make work so much better, so much more enjoyable. So it's so
Yeah.
great to hear that you have that. That's such a blessing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, me too. Like it's literally my dream. Like this show has been my dream job. Like
Mhm.
I can't say it enough. Like
Mhm.
it's been a dream come true.
Mm. Did you grow up watching like Little House, Cindy, or like Medicine Woman?
Yes,
I'm going through Little House right now myself. So did you watch any of those shows growing up?
I did. Yeah, yeah. I totally watched Little House on the Prairie and Road to Avonlea. And yeah, I've always had a fascination with like time travel in general. Anytime there's a movie with time travel, like I'm in. So I love things that are from the past, not because I love to live in the past, but there's a
Mhm.
fascination with how like we once were and what was important to us at that time and how things have changed um and how things have also remained the same, and like just because it's 1920 doesn't mean people aren't funny or like, you know, so it's like it's kind of fun to explore all those sides. Um, but what I have always really loved about period pieces is that there is a sense of community and like a coming together that, and I've said this in everything, but it really is a special thing to be able to have to have a connection in life to your neighbor, to your friends, to the stranger at the grocery store. Like for me, that matters. And so I find that that's a really special thing that we can bring to the table with Brookfield that I also found in the shows like Little House on the Prairie. Although there's, going to be drama and all of those things, that always exists, but it doesn't mean that the connection and the willingness to be there for one another wasn't like the most prominent important part, which, we're kind of lacking that to a
Yeah.
certain degree nowadays.
Yeah. That's something that I appreciate so much about When Hope Calls, and is because just the simplicity of it is people
Yeah.
are out in the community and talking face to face.
Yeah.
No one's on their phone. No one's home staying on
Totally.
their phone. It
Yeah.
just it reminds you, like you said, just how important those face to face and in-person connections are.
Yeah.
And it's inspiring. It makes you want to get up and go out with a friend or have
Yeah.
coffee with somebody. So it is so special and important.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, we actually just were talking with Shay Robbins last week about that too, where we just like we missed the days of just, knowing where your friends were based on if their bike was up. Well, you either had the oh dang, I missed out, or you just knew where to find your
Right,
friend. I mean,
right. Run
either
Totally.
over to
or.
the park. Yes.
And I didn't think about the fact of how people haven't changed. I immediately think of, oh, I'd missed my air conditioning, but in 1800, we wouldn't have known what air conditioning was,
Exactly. You
So
Hey,
just dealt
we
with
wouldn't
it.
have, we wouldn't have missed, but and then at the same time that we kind of also talked about is as we move forward, like Cindy, you and I have connected so many times and yet have never met in person.
I
Yet I can
know.
feel
It's
like
so crazy.
it's like an immediate, Brennan, when we get out to California sometime, we are going to what did I say? The Good Day Cafe or something like that. I can't remember what it was. It was a griddle
uh,
place.
It was a great,
yes,
We're
either
taking
way, let's go.
we're taking Cindy up for pancakes.
I'm so
But
excited.
if we didn't, like if we didn't have the phones and that technology that allows us to meet otherwise,
Yeah,
then we wouldn't have those connections. So it's
totally.
such a hard balance, but
Yeah,
it
absolutely.
doesn't but it doesn't take away, like you're saying, to remind yourself of how we're still the same as we evolve.
Yes.
Absolutely. Yeah, like because the fundamental and the internal compass is the same. And
Hmm.
and 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 it's only when we get further away from that are we more lost than ever. And when we come back to like the root, do we feel most at home? And a lot
Hmm.
of that is nature and human connection.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Cindy, as Nora this season, you've gotten to have wonderful scenes with the children already in the orphanage. And these kids are so darn sweet. They just melt our hearts every time we watch them. So, are there any upcoming stories with these kids that you could tease or share this season?
Oh my gosh, there's so many. One of my favorite things about this season is that there's such a specific focus on like each child kind of gets their moment sort of thing. Like we saw um oh my gosh, I'm always thinking of like the
Char-
real names. We got to
well, we
see
just saw Charlotte with the Rufus.
Charlotte and then Ruby with the gratitude rock, which was another
Mhm.
like such a beautiful moment. And again, something that I myself and a lot of my friends we talk about all the time is like sharing what you're grateful for. It's like the most simple thing and yet has so much meaning and gets you out of your own way because to remember what you're grateful for, whether it's, like the clean water you're drinking or the bed you sleep in or whatever, it's like as simple as that. So I love that story. It also connects the children to their past, right? And also like their struggles and what I love about Nora and the children's story this year is like she's finding her own balance in her matriarch like care like role now with the children at the orphanage and kind of like her value in that, and never, she didn't know that she had this kind of side to her, and now she's really exploring that. And she's kind of battling like, am I enough for them? And there'll be, gosh, there's so many great stories coming up. I'm so excited. um I will say this, the last episode, there is a beautiful thing that Nora and the children create together that is incredibly meaningful, and it allows each and every one of them to leave their mark on New Hope and the town
Mhm.
of Brookfield.
Amazing. Oh,
Yeah,
Is there
mystery.
6 or 8 episodes this season?
Six. There are
Six.
six. Yeah.
Okay. And
I
that, I
wish
think
they were eight, but here we are.
well, we all do too, but that there's that mix because you can have too much time and then have spare time that you're like kind of, I hate to say it, but let's be honest, filler sometimes.
Oh,
Versus
absolutely.
yes,
Yeah. Yes.
this,
completely.
you're so rich in everything you do because it's the
Mhm.
time is so limited.
No, you're
And
right. Yeah,
yeah.
that's a really good point. I agree. It's more concentrated
Hmm.
and yet less fluff kind of thing, and more like we got to get to the point because we only have so much time and we got a lot of stuff to get through here.
And
Yeah.
we appreciate that, Cindy. We really do.
Yeah, because and also you just like because I mean one calls has 12 and there are things that you have to remind yourself by the time you get to 9 through 12 that
That's
happen in 1 through 4 because so much has happened that
mhm.
sometimes you lose little pieces of the story. So I agree with you. We all want more, but
Yeah,
there 6 is way better than 4.
that's true. That's
Yeah,
true.
four. I mean, you
Well,
can't do much with four. Like that's like a
No.
yeah, that's like a British mini series, and it's not, that's not
Yeah,
it.
those your British miniseries or those Netflix just were dropping for like a day and you're like, what do you
Yeah,
mean? It's over already?
yeah, totally.
right.
But in these 6 episodes, we're going to see Jillian Murray guest star this
Yes.
season, and looks like her storyline is going to be with Constable Jim. So
Yep.
who else from? Can you tease a little bit about that story? Well, actually, I have another question before we do that. Do
Yeah.
you read the whole scripts, or do you like to be surprised about your co-star stories?
No, I read the whole script.
Oh,
I more than once actually. I'll read the script typically. Oh, I don't know. It depends because we get a lot of like new drafts. So I'll usually read like definitely draft, the white draft, and then probably the pink draft, and then like sometimes you get just pages, not like a whole. I
hmm.
probably read it like a few times, and then after that I'll just like focus on my own stuff. And also like I always look at what is said about Nora that could be of
Mhm.
value to me, because that's also very important.
Yeah.
Um, if it's just someone talking about their feeling, like if it's Michael talking about his feelings about Nora, that's not really like helpful to me, although it's like good to know. Um, but it's important to kind of filter like what is said about her that like could be new information for me to gather about her, because everything else that I've come up with in regards to Nora is really based on my own imagination or what I've talked about with Alfonso, right? So,
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
that's so interesting because we just talked with somebody from Hope Valley last week on a junket, and he said
yeah.
he doesn't like to learn because he's afraid of the things that he would think that he maybe shouldn't be thinking. And so I love that it goes just that it's so different. Preconceived notions, I could not come up with the word. Look at
Right.
me,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
proud of
yeah.
myself. But that makes sense because he's the same thing where he's like, I'll talk with Alfonso about what his vision is, but I don't want to play something off. But it allows you both ways. So I love that for you because
Yeah,
it's a fun
absolutely.
way to learn.
Yeah.
Totally, totally. And everybody's got, whatever works for them, and that's the beauty of it. And at the end of
Mhm.
the day, the most important part is you can learn, the lines till you're blue in the face, but if you're not present and just living in the moment while you're with your scene partner, listening and answering like you would in a regular moment in life, then it doesn't really matter anyway. So that's
Mhm.
that's totally my most important part is like I do the work, and then when the moment I step on set, I throw it all behind me and I just dive into the deep end, and I'm just there.
Hmm.
Which is works for me.
Hmm. Well, I took us off on a little Easter egg, but can you hint? I love learning that though. Can you hint what Jillian's storyline is or
Yeah,
any
so
teases?
so Jillian comes to town. She is, I won't say how she meets Jim Reynolds. However, she they find each other together and it's kind of an instant connection,
Mm,
which is very important because as both of you know at this point, Jim Reynolds is always teasing Michael Fletcher about, you can't fall in love on this job, et cetera, et cetera. Cut to Jim Reynolds gets a taste of his own medicine, which is also important because it also helps the trajectory of Michael's um, opening
yeah.
upness to
Mhm.
Nora. So their storyline is very important to Michael and Nora's storyline because it helps them get closer. So through the experience. So it's a very necessary storyline in regards to Michael and Nora, um, which is great. But yeah, she comes into town. She's a big city gal that finds herself meeting this guy, and actually you're gonna get to see her this coming episode, so that's very exciting.
Yeah.
Episode 3.
Hey,
Yeah.
amazing.
So, if you could pick somebody else from the Great American Family at this moment, who would you love to see come to Brookfield?
Mm.
Ooh. Um, Gosh, there's so many. I know that I've talked to Danica McKellar about it, and she would love to come. Like, she's would love to. She's like, I love the show. I would love to do a period piece. That would be so fun. I was like, are you kidding me? Like, and not that I have anything to do with it, but if I did, please come come visit. That would be so fun.
Like just walk on set. I'll find you a costume and it'll be
Totally.
great.
And the same thing with like Jillian Murray, like she and I are friends and like
Mm.
outside of work, obviously we've never worked together. And then she came to Brookfield, but we didn't have any scenes together. So that was kind of sad. We ran into each other like at the trailers, but we didn't get to work to each other. So that was kind of like sad. We're like, so close and yet so far.
We
Yeah.
know you have to get back to your foster pup, so we'll wrap up with a few other questions. But what kind
Oh,
of puppy
yeah.
do you have with you?
So I rescued Nina from a shelter, and so so I pulled her for a rescue.
Mm.
But her name is Nina. She's a Shiba Inu mix. She looks like a
Mm.
little coyote fox. She's actually she's 27 pounds, and she kind of looks like a bigger version of Sue's.
She's
Yeah.
Um,
beautiful.
she was, yeah, she's stunning and she's like such a sweetheart. Yeah, she was going to be euthanized and we saved her. So I'm super grateful for
Oh.
that. And she just got spayed on Thursday, so she's still healing up.
Okay.
But she's coming along really well, and I'm really excited for her to be able to find her forever home because that's the most important part. So I'm happy that, we could play a role in her life.
Mm.
How's Sue's doing?
She's good. She's just with, Chris, he's working away, so she's with him. She doesn't care much for Nina, so
Mhm.
they kind of just like ignore each other, which is like the best possible case scenario, which is
That
perfect.
works.
Yeah,
Versus biting at each other. You're right.
Exactly.
truly. Yeah, we don't need any of that. No, thank you.
Oh, well, let's end with some fun ones. So do you have any fun behind the scenes moments to share?
Oh, wow. I, gosh, I mean, I have so many, but I can't think. Oh, you know what? One of this is kind of funny. We kind of tricked our director of photography, Jonathan Yap, who was with us on the second season and this season as well. He's the DP, does all the, the lighting, the look that you see on screen is his work, along with the director, of course. And so anyway, he brought like kind of this like Nerf gun on set where he would like shoot at people like, it wasn't painful or anything. He wouldn't shoot at the actors. He's like, I don't shoot the actors, but unless we were like, no, go for it. And he'd be like, and then the crew would like pass along this like kind of Nerf gun thing and it shot out these like little like balls. And anyway, they did a trick on him where John McLaren and Neil did a scene, and John like they were like and action, and John had it in his mouth, and he like Neil says something to him, and all of a sudden John was like, and he was pretending he was choking, and then he went and it was like one of the balls, and Jonathan had no idea, like we were actually filming and Neil had no idea, and so Neil was like, hey, are you okay? And like everybody was like, okay, and like let's cut. And so they thought he was like actually choking. I think I have the video actually. But Jonathan was like, so he was like, oh my gosh, are you okay? Let's get him some water. And then when he spat it out, he was like, ah, you guys, where'd you get that? So that was a fun behind the scenes moment that happened. But other than that, just I don't know, so much joking around, chatting, like snacking, the whole thing.
Yeah,
It's the best.
Well,
absolutely.
we love all the behind the scenes that you share. And, it's just got to be just a joy of opportunity, especially with the kids, even though they
Oh
have school. So darn
I
that school.
Right,
know.
right.
I know. Speaking of, we were talking about the friendships earlier. Those six kids, their friendship is so beautiful to watch. Like outside of the shooting, like they get along so well, and they all like care and love spending time together and go out for dinner together with their moms or their dads. It's so great. Like they've really created a bond together, and I'm just kind of like the adult in the middle somehow.
Do they
Yeah.
ever ask you to go eat dinner with them
Yeah.
or
Yeah, but
Susie?
usually they're like I'm working past, they're
Yeah.
out for dinner and I'm still working kind of thing. So, but I would totally go if it worked out. Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, Cindy, besides When Hope Calls, so many exciting things have happened. You had the Movie Guide Awards. You had a beautiful photo shoot with Regard Magazine, with People Magazine. You and Susie got to spread just the love of animals together. So, just a shout out to all of that and just the work you do, both professionally and personally. So, it's just so exciting for us to see and celebrate along with you.
Oh, I really appreciate that. And yeah, that People article was like the highlight for me because I was like, oh, it's for me to get to share about Sue's and our bond and animal rescue and adoption and everything is like such an important thing for me. So that was like a massive thing that I'm super grateful for. And um yeah, I mean, listen, like all of these wonderful things are amazing, and it's happening because of these wonderful work opportunities that I've been given. But I wouldn't be in this position if it wasn't for everyone who's like consistently supporting me and watching the projects that I'm a part of. And like, I take some of that, but I also like give it right back because it really is about the audience and the fans and the hopefuls and the Hardys and the Heartland crew and all of those amazing human beings that like have followed me throughout. So it's just I'm just grateful to be a part of it, and somehow I found myself in this scenario. So to spread kindness and love and give back is like the best part for me. And to get to chat with both of you and do all that, it's the best.
We
We
appreciate
love you. Yeah.
that.
So, well, because you just mentioned it, we got Hot Ash back this year in Heartland.
Sure did.
So, what made this the right time? And also, I'd be curious, how do you think Hot Ash would do in Brookfield?
I don't know. Does BMW make a carriage? Like,
He would invent it.
You know what? Ronnie would figure it out.
Truly. I think Ronnie would get a run for his money with Hot Ash, let me tell you. Like,
Probably.
right? He would meet his match. I don't think she would do well but what's interesting actually is Ashley is a lawyer now. It is a
Mm.
lawyer and so is Nora. So like there's a little bit of a wink wink in that whole thing. But yeah, it was amazing to get back to Heartland. Like that show is, I always say it's my Achilles heel. Like I love it so much. It allowed me to get the best experience of my career, like early on, meet some of my nearest and dearest friends to this day. And it's a show that just keeps on going, and the fandom is worldwide, super great and massive. And I'm grateful because it's given me a wonderful opportunity still to this day. So, um, honestly, I never thought that they would ask me to come back to the show. So when they did, I could not believe it, but it was very hard for me to say no because I just love her so much. And most importantly, again, to bring it back to the fans, like I genuinely felt like I'd been asked about 1,000 times if Ash was going to ever come back to Heartland. So if I didn't come back to Heartland, I felt like that was very unfair to those who've been asking me for the last
Mm.
11 years.
Oh, 11 years.
It was 11 years since the last time I was on the show. So I was episode in season 7, and they had me back on season 18 and then 19. So pretty crazy. Yeah.
Amazing.
Well, we're going to go for 19 seasons and more for When Hope Calls.
Yes, we'll be in the
Yeah.
geriatric center. It'll be great.
I love it. I love it. The Brookfield Senior Center. Let's go.
Listen, it's gonna be a fun hopping place, let me tell you.
Absolutely.
Move from orphanage to senior center.
It's perfect.
The orphans can take care of me. It's a perfect match
Yes.
made in
It's like,
heaven.
all right, kids, your turn.
Totally.
Gosh.
Yep.
Oh,
I'll let Brennan close us.
Yep.
oh, well, we just adore and love you so much, Cindy. And thank you so much for just taking the time to talk with us again. We're so excited for the rest of the season, and it's always just so lovely to see you and chat with you. Real quick, are there any more upcoming projects that you can tease quick that you're doing?
I'm doing a lot of like just behind the scenes stuff and hoping to do more producing with directing in the future and just like kind of dabbling in that world.
Mhm.
And in the meantime, just waiting to see what happens with When Hope Calls and yeah, we'll see. We'll see what the future holds. But right now, this is my main focus, and I'm pretty excited about it. And
Gotcha.
saving dogs and all that. So yeah, thanks for having me. It's a joy to get to speak with you both.
Oh,
Yes,
thank you,
too.
Cindy. And everybody tune in for episode 3. So yeah, I can't believe that. 3 out of 6 already. We're
Oh my
already
gosh,
almost halfway through.
so crazy. But time flies when you're having fun.